In today's lesson, I'm going to teach you the most effective way to deliver your proposals to leads so that you can close more deals. The big problem that we often have, or when people start out in a consultancy business or an agency or so on, is that we email our proposals to people and we expect them to come back and say, yes, we've read through your document, we love it, we understand it all, and here's a check, or here's my credit card details, I'm ready to go. And this just isn't the case. This does not reflect reality. In fact, often when you email a proposal, you're left there waiting. Okay? Or maybe they do come back to you and they say no. Emailing a proposal is not the best way of delivering a proposal to your leads and future clients, hopefully. Okay, so why does it happen? Why are we emailing our proposals and expecting the results that we want? Well, number one, we believe that people are as focused on our proposal and what we're proposing to do for them as they are. As we are. We presume that they are as interested in the project that we want to do for them as they are in it, and that's just probably not the case. They're probably very busy and they have lots of projects and priorities ongoing, and what you're doing is just one of those things. Okay, so you have to understand that first of all, people are very busy. Okay, and so you need to try and make yourself more of a priority for that person and help them set aside and focus on your project, okay, that you're going to help them with. Because obviously, if it's a decent project which brings significant value and is really going to help them, it's something they need to do, and it's your job to help them focus on the proposal and project and the opportunity that there is for you to help them. Okay. And when we just email people, we're not actually helping them focus. Do people really want another 5 or 10 page document in their inbox to go through at some point? I'm sure many people just get them and go, oh gosh, it's something else to read, even if it is the most helpful thing in the world. So sending an email isn't necessarily that helpful for people. Okay. The other myth is that we send them to people, we assume that they're going to thoroughly understand what we're proposing. And not only that, we also believe that they're then going to talk themselves out of any challenges or objections they have to the proposal. Okay, we just assume that they're going to work it all out for themselves. Well, that's not the case. They need a guide, they need a mentor, they need someone to walk them through the proposal. Okay, and that's not going to happen if you just email your proposal to them. And so that's why you shouldn't just be emailing your proposals to people, at least in the first instance. Okay, so how do we overcome this? Well, we stop sending our emails proposals and emails in the first instance. We start booking proposal meetings. Okay, you need to book proposal meetings, and that's time that you set aside with your lead to walk them through the proposal and guide them through it. And there's a number of reasons that you, as an equally busy person, would want to do that. One, because it's going to help you win more deals, and also because it's going to actually save you some time. And I'll explain in a bit more detail now. Okay, so when should you be booking your proposal meeting? Well, you should book your proposal meeting during your previous meeting. So if you have a deep dive meeting or some kind of scope meeting where you sit down or you talk on Skype or a Google Hangout and get to understand fully what they need or what's going to help them, then that's the time during that meeting that you should be booking in your proposal meeting. Okay, you must do it. No excuses. All right. And this if you haven't already got an online calendar booking system for meetings, I really recommend you do that, because then it becomes a really easy way during a meeting. You just send them your proposal meeting booking link and they can book in straight away, and you get an automatic notification in your inbox and you see that they've done it. Okay. Also, if they won't commit to a proposal meeting, okay, then don't make them a proposal. If they're not willing to commit to another meeting, why should you invest your time in making a proposal? Because a proposal is time consuming. even if you have, and it depends on the size of the project you're going after, but even if you have quite a standardized proposal, which you should have, it's probably still going to take you at least an hour or 2 hours to do that. And that's valuable time that you could be doing other work for your business. So do not make a proposal without having a proposal meeting booked first. Otherwise, you're just going to waste your time. Okay, get them to commit. And you really want to avoid, and this is an experience that I've had, unfortunately, you want to avoid business people who want to make themselves feel important by just having other people run around and create proposals for them. Okay, some people get a sense of self-importance because they're getting proposals sent to them. Okay, but you want to avoid those people, and the way you can avoid them is by qualifying them better in the first place. I'm not going to go into qualification now. We can do that in another video. But yeah, you need to qualify them beforehand. Make sure they've got a budget. Make sure they're actually willing to spend the budget, okay, before you make that proposal. So only make your proposal once you've booked a proposal meeting, and you should only be booking a proposal meeting once you've got a rough idea of their budget and their willingness to actually do anything. And you can actually honestly just ask people and go, is this something you really want to, you're keen to do, and what kind of budget might you have to spend? People, especially established business people, will normally have a good idea of what they can actually spend, and they don't want to waste their time either. So they'll normally be quite happy to share that with you. Okay, so what else do you need to do to make your proposal meeting work well? You need to be ready to deal with their objections during the proposal meeting. So try and step back and think as they would about your proposal, and think about any issues that they might raise during that proposal presentation. Now, if they don't want to, after you've done the proposal meeting, if they don't want to go ahead and sign, and you've tried to gently persuade them and talk them through their objections, but they still don't want to go ahead, now's a good time to actually get a good understanding of what's stopping them. Okay, so that's not nagging them to do the deal. No, it's not nagging them to do the deal, but it's just trying to get a real sense of actually why they're not moving forward at that point. And there's two reasons for doing that. After the meeting, first reason, number one, you can go away and improve the proposal or find a way of overcoming the objection if you truly know what it is. Or number two, if the deal's still not going to happen, you can still learn and use that for your next proposal or next proposal meeting with a lead. Okay, so you can turn the experience into the experience of a lost deal can still have a positive outcome for your business. I've actually got a blog post on the Bright Arts Agency website, and that's brightarts.co.uk. I've got a blog post which is all about how you can learn from lost deals, and there's a template you can use there as well. So go ahead and get that if you're interested in learning more and improving your overall sales process. And so that this learning that you can do during your proposal meeting is great, valuable information, really valuable information for improving your sales process. The more you can improve it, the more deals you'll win. It's that simple. And if you were going to be emailing your proposal, you wouldn't get this information. All you're going to get is either no reply or no thanks, not this time, maybe next year. Okay, so by actually getting them to commit to actually talk to the proposal about you and sit down and talk to you about it, at least if the worst case scenario, you don't sign the deal and they don't want to move forward, you actually learn and make your own sales process better. So you get something out of the process. Okay, here's some advanced tips for you and ideas. Right. I would suggest that you consider presenting your proposal using online meeting software like Google Hangout, okay, or Skype or something similar, something where you can share the document on the screen with the lead. Now, there's a few benefits for doing this, actually 4 benefits for doing this. Benefit 1, it's going to save you a lot of time. Okay, if you have to travel to a proposal meeting and travel back to your office again, you could be looking at half a day out of your office. And if that lead doesn't turn into a customer, what a waste of time. Okay, so save yourself time by presenting online. Why not? People are used to it. It's everyone I know is happy with working that way now. Okay. There is still value in meeting person to person, but I think it's a thing you should strongly consider. The other advantage to presenting online is you can control how and when the lead sees elements of your proposal. Okay, so if you go to a meeting, you go along with a couple of printed out proposals, which is bad for the planet anyway. Let's face it, just more paper. Then what you can do is, if you're sharing your screen, rather than having that experience at a sit-down meeting where at the sit-down meeting, you give them the printed out proposal, and what do they often do? They flip through it quickly, and then they go to the pricing page. And you know what's going to happen? What will happen? And this is what I've experienced: is you'll be talking to them about the opportunity for the project and all the brilliant things that you can do, and how you can help them. And what they'll just be ignoring that. They won't be listening. They'll be skimming through to the back of the document and seeing how much it costs. Okay, so they'll have totally disconnected the value from the investment. They'll be just looking at the investment, and in fact, at that point, they won't be looking at it as investment. They'll be looking at it as a cost. Okay, so that's the bad thing about presenting in person. I suppose the way you could get past that by presenting in person is by handing over bits of the proposal at a time. Like, here's part one, the outline, here's part two, what we're going to do to overcome it, here's part three, the investment. So you could get past it in person, but it definitely needs to be thought about. If you do it online, you can really control it, because obviously you could just scroll through the document on your Google Hangout or on your Skype screen, and you can walk them carefully through each stage. And you can also be sure that you're looking at both. See, again, I think I'm convincing myself even more now, because you can actually, when you're scrolling through the document, you can take them through section by section on that screen share, and make sure that you're both looking at the same part of the document, and that they've got absolute clarity, and that they really understand the project and what you're trying to achieve. So you're in perfect sync. And I think that's the best place to be when you're presenting a proposal. And so when you're controlling what they see when you're presenting that proposal, then you can control the order of the elements. So first, start by restating the challenge and opportunity. By now, you obviously would have already had a discussion about this, but this is the time to talk about that again. Why are we here in the first place? What's this proposal trying to achieve? State that now. Next, how are you going to do it? Lay out the solution and also the milestones and a very preliminary schedule for achieving those milestones. Okay, don't overwhelm them with too much detail. You need enough, but not too much. And then finally, you can introduce the investment options. Again, the investment options should have their own structure and order. So you want to start with the most expensive options first, and then work your way down to the lowest options. It's been proven that when you introduce a higher number first, people are willing to pay more. So that's actually the reason to start with your highest priced option when you're laying out the investment options. And another nice thing about presenting online as well is that you can actually you can move on to your T's and C's. So you can have your T's and C's at the end of your proposal. And if you need to make a few adjustments with them there, you can do that there and then. And then you can move them straight away onto signing the contract. You export your PDF straight out of Google Docs or Microsoft Word, you upload it to your online contract signing software, and then after you both signed it, you can send them an invoice from QuickBooks or whatever, and they can get that paid there and then. And then you've got the whole project moving ahead very quickly without a delay. Okay, if they're not going to sign on the spot, obviously make sure you've got a good follow-up system in place for how you're going to move forward. Don't just leave it like, don't just, what I would suggest, if they're not going to sign during the meeting, that you get another meeting booked in, like a terms and conditions meeting. At least that would give you a good idea that they are actually keen on going ahead. Because let's face it, if they're not keen on going ahead, they'll just try and put you off somehow and go, oh, we'll come back to you or whatever. But if they do, they are keen on doing it, then they'll probably be happy to book in a terms and conditions meeting so that they can get started. Because if they're keen, they're going to want to get started very soon. Okay. Moving forward, here's another couple of do's. If you are going to meet going to meet people in person, do email before you leave your office and make sure the meeting is still on. Otherwise, you are going to, again, waste your time. Okay, because if you get often, or I've had this in the past, not often, but I've had it in the past, where I've gone to a meeting and then all of a sudden, oh, something's come up, they're not around. And it's just a wasted time. You're just wasting so much of your time on going to meetings that cancel at the last minute. So do make sure you email beforehand. And you could also, again, this is another reason to use Calendly. That's the one I use, especially for the sales automation work we do at Bright Arts. Use something like Calendly to book your meetings, because you can also set that up to send reminders to people before meetings. So again, that's going to reduce the chances for no-show for your meetings. And obviously, the less no-shows you get, the more contracts you're going to get signed. Okay, it's quite simple. You know, if you look at the start of your sales funnel to the end, you have all these interactions and stages you need to go through. The better that you can do more of them, the more deals you're going to get signed. Okay, it's that simple. So as I mentioned that article earlier on my website, that does actually have a template for mapping out your sales stages. So actually you can start getting clarity on the areas of your sales pipeline that need to be improved. Next steps. All right. Okay. So moving on and wrapping up the lesson. I hope you've enjoyed this today, and I hope you understand by now that you really should be setting up proposal meetings and not emailing your proposals. Please take that advice. If you take nothing else, just take that advice. Have you subscribed to my YouTube channel yet? If you haven't, click the button below and do that now, because I'm going to have a lot more videos coming soon about optimizing your sales processes and pipeline and sales automation. And I'd love to see you here for that. So yeah, subscribe below today, and I look forward to seeing you again soon. Thanks for watching today. All right, bye now.